Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am the Timmeister, and welcome back to Dunswell. It's been a little while, guys, since I last uploaded, but in case you missed my little update a few weeks ago, I've literally been on hiatus for the last couple of months while I update a tiny house that I recently bought. So it's a literal tiny house. It's only like 400 square feet. I bought it as it was affordable, and it kind of beats just paying rent. You know, you can build some equity. You know, there's a bunch of advantages to owning your own place, but it's a good feeling in the end. So I've essentially been renovating this place for the last couple of months, and it's finally to the point where it's livable enough for me to make videos again. So you can expect the frequency of my uploads to increase a little bit. And yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just really excited to be back into the game, to be uploading to a regular schedule again, and to bringing you guys some good content, the best that I can do. And I'm super excited to get back in the game too, because since I've last uploaded, there's been a ton of new stuff that's being released for City Skylines. You know, some new DLCs, some new content creator packs, tons of new stuff. So I'm super excited. And of course, the announcement for City Skylines 2. So I'm sure in the next few episodes, we'll be talking about that a little bit. But for now, I just want to focus on the recent release of the Shopping Malls content creator pack by King Leno. So that's what we're going to be focusing on a little later in this episode. So that brings me to why am I reconfiguring this whole highway infrastructure in South Dunswell. The reason for that is I was left with this little chunk of land on the south side of the highway that used to be here, like you saw in the beginning of this video. But it was just a little too tight to be able to fit the mall comfortably anyway, and to allow me to build the neighborhood as I was kind of imagining it. So a whole revamp was due for this area. And plus, I made a ton of adjustments to improve efficiency, to make it look better. So you'll see as I progress with this whole reconfiguration how it's going to play out. Honestly, it was no small task. Number one, I had to build a sort of like highway infrastructure that would fit in this area, and that would look cool as well. So I decided to go with prefabricated interchanges. I know that's kind of unlike me. I usually really enjoy to build my own interchanges, but at the time of recording this, I was super duper excited to get into the Shopping Malls content creator pack. I didn't really feel like spending, 3 hours building out my own interchanges, let alone 3 interchanges in this case. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I was just so excited to get into the shopping area that I didn't really want to spend too much time just building interchanges and such. I completely revamped the southern area around where the shopping area is going to be. But I also took the opportunity to rebuild the highway infrastructure around the airport because it was terrible. It was very inefficient. I was getting so many comments saying that, that interchange was just causing so many problems. So I finally got around to replacing it. And of course here too, I ended up placing this magnificent interchange. All of these interchanges, by the way, were from the same creator on the workshop. I'll post a link down in the description to the pack of interchanges that I downloaded. They're really great. What I really like about them is they're quite compact for the complexity that they are. Like, look at this interchange here, which I'm not quite sure what to call. But for its complexity, I guess, and its volume of traffic that it's going to handle, it's really, really compact. So I was able to squeeze it in here. This also was no small task. With the airport and stuff being already constructed, it didn't leave me with a ton of room to play with, but it was all good because all I had to do was to move around a couple of buildings here and there, and I wasn't forced to change much of the look of the airport. So that was really what I was going for. So off camera, I end up doing a little bit of work at this interchange, and I will be doing some more work in future episodes. Maybe the next episode, we'll see. Because I kind of want to beautify some of these interchanges. So back to the shopping area. Not much is going to change over here. Well, I shouldn't say that because like everything is changing. But anyways, the point being, instead of going with this weird sort of road layout that we used to have, most of this neighborhood is going to be just a simple grid pattern that you would find in any North American city. It's just easier, and I find it looks better for this city, especially with it being based off of Seattle / Vancouver, which are very gritty cities. Not gritty as in like dirty, but gritty as in like grids. So I thought that was the better option to sort of lay out this neighborhood in that fashion. So I know some of you may not prefer the sort of time-lapse videos that I sometimes make. Unfortunately, this episode is completely in time-lapse mode, but I slowed it down a lot compared to what I normally do. So normally I'll speed up footage by 300%. Most of the footage that you're going to see in this episode is only at 200%. Some of it's at 500% though. I'll be honest with you guys. Like right now, what you're seeing is 500% just to get some of the boring bits out. But most of it is 200%. So it makes it a little bit easier to follow, and it makes this episode just the right length, what I was looking for, which is around 15 to 20 minutes long. So the advantage of doing a time-lapse sort of video like this is I can squeeze out a lot more content, meaning that, you know, I can showcase more within one video. So here it is, guys. Here is the main mall building by King Leno. I've been using King Leno's content for years now, ever since I started modding the game. Actually, I think his assets were some of the first that I've ever downloaded because I was always a fan of building these realistic North American cities, and no North American city is complete without some big malls and box chain stores. You guys know exactly what I mean. So I'm really glad that Paradox was able to work with King Leno to develop these shopping assets. They look fantastic, and of course I never doubted the quality of his work, so I'm certainly not disappointed in this case. So along with the shopping mall, the big shopping mall that's going in this area, I'm gonna place down just a couple more shopping buildings. So I didn't want to make South Dunswell this massive shopping area and use up the whole content creator pack. So there is like 4 or 5 larger shopping buildings included in the content creator pack, but I want multiple parts of the city to take advantage of these buildings. All right, so like here in South Dunswell, of course, it's obviously going to be the biggest shopping area in the city, but I want to dot these little shopping areas around the city. So like in northern Dunswell there'll be one, maybe like in eastern Dunswell, whatever. I'll make a nice little shopping mall using all of the assets from the content creator pack. So that's to come in a future episode, but just letting you guys know what to expect. So in this shopping district, of course, I placed the huge mall, and I'm also going to place right here a smaller but still quite large grocery store. So this asset also fantastic. And of course, making sure to place down a ton of parking lots. Honestly, I think I'm being a little bit modest here with the parking lots. It should be like 10 times the parking lots that I'm placing, but I still kind of want the game, I want the city to be presentable, you know? Now, of course, one of the drawbacks of reconfiguring this entire area, and what I mean by that is reconfiguring the entire road network, so all the streets and everything have changed. It made a mess of the mass transit that was in this area. So the bus network is sort of in shambles now. We didn't really have any other form of mass transit in South Dunswell, so it's not a huge deal, but I'll have to do some reconfiguring in a future episode. Maybe next episode we'll get into that, fixing the bus network. And I'd like to do some other changes as well. I'd like to run the metro line over here to South Dunswell to make sure that people can get around and do their shopping. You know, we want to make Dunswell a very pedestrian-friendly city after all. I'll quickly mention as well, you may have noticed that I put a lot of office buildings around the mall, sort of adjacent to the highway. And the idea is I want to create a sort of little business park in this area too. That's really what the whole idea originally was for this area. But then the mall DLC came out, so that I figured, oh, okay, I'm going to repurpose this area. But I still really like the idea of a little office park, so I made sure to include it behind the mall. And you'll also notice that I took advantage of the parking garage in behind the mall that the office park can also use. So here I am running the simulation for the first time after booting up the save. Things are not going very good. We have our hospital on fire, buses jamming up at the bus station over here. Not off to a great start, but it's fine because we have our mall. People are happy, people are shopping. The city is collecting revenue. Well, maybe not right now. I mean, we're in the red at this point, but I can assure you that... Oh, okay, now we're in the green. We're making money. But let me know down in the comments, guys, what you think about this whole new area. Does it suit the city well? Does the whole new highway configuration fit well into the city? Maybe let me know if there's any better ways that I could have made this. But I think it suits the city's needs pretty well. But no build is complete without some realistic trees by Mr. Mason. So I know I've said this in a past episode, but I really have to go throughout the entire city and start placing Mr. Mason's trees all over the place. They look realistic, and they add, you know, that little extra oomph to the city in terms of realism, you know what I mean? Of course, the vanilla trees... They have added some new trees over the years into the game that look okay, and there's no real way of avoiding those trees because of a lot of like default in-game assets you use them. So without mods, you can't really get rid of those default trees, which I don't really mind, to be honest. I think they look okay for the most part, but with the added mixture of Mr. Mason's trees, you can even get some better, more realistic results. So I think that's what I'm going to do eventually. So from now on, any new build that I'm making, I'm going to try to include Mr. Mason's trees. So in this case here, I just did a quick swoop, added a bunch of different trees just to add a little bit more variation, and I think the result is really, really nice. And I'm just going to add a couple of parking lots because I feel like this area doesn't feel American enough. You know what I mean? It's just that the right amount of parking lots has not been achieved in this case. Plus, I felt like the area was feeling a little bit cluttered, and it didn't really feel like, you know, that North American huge mall feel that I was really going for. So I demolished a little bit of some commercial areas here and just added a few more parking lots. And I think the results are fantastic. So that is pretty much going to be it for this shopping area. I think I did a I think this episode did a decent job at showcasing some of the assets included in this pack, and there will be more. As I stated a little earlier in the episode, there's going to be more shopping areas around the city that we will eventually get to. So that is going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully you guys stick around and you continue to enjoy my videos. Next episode, I'd like to work on reconfiguring our whole bus network / metro network. I'd like to expand on that a little bit. So that's going to be quite the project, but that's a challenge for another day. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel to get notified whenever I release future videos. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day, and until the next episode, take care.